What's that say? It says they're not fucking around crew. That's what that says.
What is up? We are back. Jordan was gone last week playing hooky, but he's back this week. We're not fucking around. Welcome to another edition of Hot Topic with Copville and Jordan. We got a lot to cover. Where were you last week, man? You bailed on me.
Oh,
life got in the way.
There's life outside of you.
Oh, you're not just hanging around on the podcast all week like me? No, Dom filled in. We got all the hate from Steve. We could actually, because Dom was on. Steve
I watched it. Steve was well behaved last week. So
yes, yeah. He commented on it. Oh, there he is already. Let's get the comments rolling. Dylan, huge supporter, man. Thank you so much. Nate, what's up? How's it going? Tactical Patriot, thank you for stopping by. Excited for a good time as always. Fantastic. Mike, I listened to your pod. Wild stuff. Yeah, that was a very interesting episode with myself and Jason Votrebeck. What has Steve got to say? New York City will look like a Mad Max movie within the next few years. That's right, because the cops will give us their job. Yeah. New York forgot already. What's up? What's up? What's up? Let's jump right into that topic, which everybody seems to be talking about.
Yep.
We have a socialist. And I don't care about the Muslim part, like your religion, whatever. You're a good person, you're a good person. But we have a socialist criminal sympathizer running the signature city of the United States of America. Imagine the guys that wrote the Constitution and the guys that stormed the beaches in Normandy and all that, thinking that we would get to this point.
I'm trying to pull up his the list of. I didn't see the prostitution thing, but the
one of the. Well, here I'll get you. You can look for the list. I'm going to bring up share of image file. I'll quickly talk about his mentality right out of the rip. Let me make sure I get the right one. Oh boy, it's this one. Okay, so let's talk about his mentality right out of the rip. Here's I cut this out. He wants to get right away free bus rides for all of New York. Right now in New York, they make about $315 million a year, bless you, but half the people don't pay. They just get on the bus anyway and refuse to pay, which is allowed to happen. But he sums it up by suggesting making it free.
Yeah.
His solution to that is, well, it's only about $800 million a year, and the city has a $100 billion budget, and the state has $220 billion budget. What's a measly $800 million? And he has to try to convince now that company, MTA, to just say, fuck it, we're going to go for free. So right away, out of the rip, socialism at its finest, we're just going to make it free. An entire industry of people, just
minimum wage of $30 an hour. Yeah, that's fucking financial. That's financially feasible.
That's like $10. That's like $10 an hour in New York City.
Yeah,
Manhattan, you can't eat in Manhattan for less than that.
No.
Prostitution was the other one. Which
prostitution, yeah. Free childcare.
Like, who pays for that? What is free? They throw the word free around.
And that is
free shit. That's a generation of people, including him, 35 years. Oh boy. Hold on. 35-year-old man who has done nothing. He's a spoiled brat. They just throw the word free around. Like, everything is free. Somebody has to pay for it. And this is it's a touchy subject sometimes.
Raising corporate taxes to 11.5%. Right.
Yeah, everybody who's successful has to pay for everybody unsuccessful is the term. And how do I say this? It kind of goes, okay, we're at the longest shutdown in history. And isn't it ironic? I made this and the Democrats attacked me on Facebook today. That's why I'm streaming on Facebook now. I hope they fucking get mad. Isn't it ironic that the longest government shutdown in history stretched on the SNAP benefit platform through the midterm elections? Watch how fast this government gets back gets funded again.
Yeah.
They did what they needed to do. This is like the Powerball every year at Christmas time, miraculously going to like $1 billion to draw more money. They held out, and it's because of healthcare and it's because of that. No, it's not. Nobody wants anybody to not have healthcare. Nobody wants anybody to not have benefits.
Nobody doesn't want anyone to not eat.
Yeah. Yes. What SNAP benefits were for is You're working, you're contributing to society, and you lose your job, or you have a catastrophe in your family where you can't, hey, we're going to give you this benefit so you don't go hungry, but it's not a generational payment. It doesn't mean you have kids and they get on SNAP and then their kids have kids and get on SNAP and nobody works. That was never the intended point of the benefit. Jordan, I heard they got several slots open in NYPD suppression.
No, ain't no.
We wouldn't make it. We wouldn't make it
no
5
way,
minutes.
Ain't no way, because I'm not.
You guys had a little. Are you allowed to talk about what happened? You guys. You guys had somebody not there any longer.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if we could talk. I saw something about an officer that no longer works there.
Yeah, he got his hand caught in the old cookie jar there.
What was that? I remember reading it, but you were gone, so we never talked about it.
You're talking about the guy. You're talking about the guy with the LPR shit and stuff. Right?
There you go. He was using the LPR system for personal.
So he had a business on the side. And he was using like the flock data and the LPR data to run stuff and forward it to use it for his own personal gain, like a bad boy. And they found out about that. They found out about that shit, and he tried to resign, and they said, "Get fucked, nerd," and they fired his ass. Yep.
Beautiful. That's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. Yep. The tax base will diminish when the billionaires and millionaires flee New York. So who will pay? Yeah, exactly. There eventually. New York City, you can't walk around and say you're Republican. You go wear a MAGA hat down in New York City and watch what happens to you. You can't do it. So the silent Republicans are going to be like, enough is enough at some point. Those big businesses are going to go, you know what? But I saw a thing today. There is no such thing as a Republican city. That's the other problem. There's no such thing. Name a Republican city. I'll wait. No. There's no such thing. So where do you take your business, your big booming businesses and all that? You have to operate in the city. I suspect they'll move some of their assets out or move away from doing as much business as they can. But unfortunately, you're tied to the big city because that's where all that stuff is going on, the business and stuff. But it at some point,
massive commerce. Yeah.
At some point, it's like, how do you expect to continue to pay for? I got some. Oh, that's what I have. I have some raw data on cops. Let's talk about the policing. And that was the other screenshot I had. So this is the cop situation in New York. What it talks about is the NYPD. I can't see it because it's a stupid thing.
Currently experienced a significant wave of
there you go.
retirements and resignations described by some law enforcement sources as union leaders as mass exodus. I fucking bet.
Last year to this year, they lost 3,600 officers. They've been losing on average 300 a month. And as early as 2025, 5,000, I was told today, 5,000 officers are expected to file retirement in January. This is the largest police department. Look at this. They're budgeted. At one point, we're over 40,000. They're budgeted for 35 and change, and they're still running 2,000 understaffed at that massive level of New York City. And I was told 5,000 officers are, because this guy won, are going ahead. So they don't have to do 20 years there. Yeah. They're gone. They're getting out. So imagine losing. I guess
losing 5,000 on a Monday. Holy shit!
Yeah, 5% of your agency. So for a 50-man agency, what's that? 10 people leave. That's a significant amount of people gone when you're talking about per shift. So huge deal. Don't breed them if you can't feed them. Yeah, I agree 100%. Self-proclaimed heroes have abused every tool they've ever been given. I mean, we're seeing some wild stuff. Let me see. Do I have anything else about the
I was looking to say something that
oh, here we go. This is 50 Cent. Rapper. You know, you can say what you want, but this dude is usually on top of things. He posted this on his page.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a guy who is black, rapper, raised in the hood, and he supports the president and supports law and order. And he's very outspoken about it. And even he has the take that, you know, how does a city survive? Yeah. And it's not the religion. I could care less who, you know, as long as if you worship somebody. If you worship somebody that's peaceful, then that's good. I'm glad you're looking to a higher power for guidance. I love it. Don't care who it is. But all the other stuff is absolutely not cool. Many firms from Wall Street moved to Dallas. Yeah, Dallas is a joke too. Houston is the worst. Like all those bad TikToks and all those bad videos. We're going in and out. Gotta go, gents. I'll tune tomorrow. Thank you. Yep, tomorrow live 11 a.m. on the Anti-Hero broadcast, and then tomorrow night 8 p.m. on the night shift on Counterculture. All right, let's go video. I've got a video. Where's that one at? I have two. Let's go with this one. This is, what is this one? Oh, this is, okay. So this is equal to New York. This is Chicago. Now, where I was going with this video, where it's a shooting, officer involved shooting. We have one of the largest, another large agency. I want you to pay attention to the tactics. And now you have these type of tactics going on in a city where crime is rampant, and kind of watch how this unfolds.
Between Chicago police and suspected burglars. This happened back on September 6th near the 800 block of North Waller. Police were responding to reports of a burglary when they say they found a car with people inside that matched the description of the burglars. As police tried to stop the vehicle slammed into them. The whole incident captured by body cameras and in-car cameras. We've frozen the video before the deadly gunshots were fired. From the dash camera perspective, you can see the car appear to back into one of the officers. He then fires his gun several times.
I mean, I don't like the shit on cop. Well, I do, but not in that way. It's you have one of the worst cities in America, crime-ridden, and you have just unleashed hundreds, if not thousands, of undertrained, not ready for the job police. Now, the guy getting backed into it, I get it. You shoot him. That's fine. You're not jumping in front of the car. Your audio. We're having technical difficulties today. Nope. SFST refresher better not cut into my broadcast time tomorrow. Hopefully not. No audio. What's up, Mike and Jordan? Since when did NYC become prayer for Muslims? Yeah, pretty wild stuff. Jordan will be back. So that is, again, I get the Muslim thing. I get the religion thing, but I don't, freedom of religion, all that stuff. But you can't, there we go. You can't turn it into socialism. And where I went with that video from Chicago is you have these most dangerous cities in the world, and the cops are not trained, and we're just pushing people through, and it's
neat quantity over quality.
Well, it's at this point, we were just talking about this before we went live. Like, who the fuck wants to be a cop in those places anymore? Like, why? And why would you? Why would you go to New York City right now and go, that's what I want to do?
Yeah. Especially generation. Like if you're like, whatever generation cop you are, and you grew up hearing about it being one thing, and you go and you just see it's like a shot. That's gotta be hard to deal with, because it's just, I don't know, man. It's and that always has especially for me, like always has had a draw to it. I grew up watching movies about like LAPD, NYPD, whatever, and they're probably there was a point where obviously places that large is all fucked up at some point, but just the opportunities you have as a police officer and law enforcement and massive agencies like that, when I'm sure at some point it was good, and it was probably a pretty fucking cool thing to be like an NYPD.
Yeah, and you talk to, I gotta send something myself. You talk to these guys, and it's like, yes, like I'm a third generation, fourth generation cop, but it's not. You can't continue to survive, and and put yourself in that kind of danger where you could do the right thing and end up in prison, like Sal. Like Sal shoots a guy that needs to be shot, and he ends up in prison.
Yeah,
I'm trying to send a picture over, and it's not. You can't do it anymore. And guys, and Steve says his famous. I'll put it back up there for Steve. His famous statement: "Cop, honest, hardworking people don't want." Oh no, he went this one. Self-proclaimed heroes have declared war for a pension and a paycheck. If you're there, and I agree with it now, if you're there for just a pension and a paycheck, the pension is not what you think it is. If you're not really working hard and saving your money and living reasonable, like I said, Florida's 75% of your best 5 years, or best 8 after 2011. If you're barely making it on 100% of your pay with the big truck and all that, what are you going to do when you retire and go, oh, by the way, 75%? You still have to pay your own health care, and we're taking taxes out of it.
Yep.
What do you do? These guys are like living the dream, like living the pension dream, but it's like they're not thinking like, wait a second, it's not what, it's not what it's cracked up to be. And then you're doing it, you just, it's bad. It's bad. The profession is taking a turn. So be smart with your money, start looking at outside income and look for a place like
have a plan, build a business.
Yes.
Live smart. Yeah.
The first movies I saw made me think of there was LAPD and NYPD. They're the last places I'd ever work. Yeah, that's Hollywood. And that's part of my conspiracy is Hollywood tells you those things and they're not. Self-proclaimed heroes have destroyed their own profession and lost the public trust and respect. Part of that is true. I agree with part of that.
Yeah, part of it's true. Yeah.
I agree. It's hard to retire from any job these days. Yeah, you'll be working forever. So somebody brought up here, I just want to pump my own self here for a minute. My latest episode is awesome. I'll bring this up. The latest episode was called The Pig and the Plug. This episode is the guy on the left is Jason Voterbeck. He's a career criminal, drug trafficker, pill mill owner, making $4 or $5 million a month at one point. Claims to have had many cops on his payroll. He claims to have followed me around and had me watched and tried to get information about me here in this small town. Kind of talks about growing up in a small town where somebody's a major drug trafficker. You can catch that on Copville, YouTube. And it's a pretty interesting episode. It goes into some pretty cool detail about what he was doing, how he was moving dope, good educational stuff. And he's actually, when I say this, he went to federal prison. And it sounds funny to say it, but he's actually very pro-cop in the fact that his grandma needs to be protected. His wife needs to be protected. His kids need to be protected. And he chose to be a criminal. And the cops are supposed to try to stop him. So he's never hold any grudge about being caught. But very interesting perspective to hear that side. And we are two people that nobody on earth thought would ever be. I mean, originally he was looking at life in prison and he ended up getting out early, and nobody ever thought we would sit down in the same room. So it's part one. It's a part one. We go mild detail, but it just shows the two different versions of how good guys are doing what they're doing. And bad guys they know where you live. They're tracking you. They know where your kids go to school. Like, that's more to think about when you're a cop too. These guys that aren't taking the job serious. It's like you got drug dudes that know your car and know where your kids go to school.
Yep.
So
easy to find.
Let's see. Hear him talking about having girls go to these cops to get. I guess he used to send girls to come around me, and as crooked as I was, the Fed said I never leaked any information. So you can tell everything you guys talked about in the episode is legit too. It's great. Thank you so much. All right, let's go to something that's not legit. Here is a news article. This was a newsworthy arrest that was posted out of Atlanta, I believe. So she starts off, I'll preface it by telling everybody that her training and experience kicked in. And then I'll Okay, here we go.
Officer Maisha Banks, who you see in this video arresting Cagle, says her training kicked in those moments when she spotted the suspect.
You don't realize when it actually happens in person. You don't know how to prepare for that. So yes, I did go into tunnel vision, and all of my skills, everything that I've learned just came as one. And that's when I just went into straight police mode.
She went into straight police mode. So mediocrity, below mediocrity there, makes it the news. She's interviewed. And if you watch the video closely again, she has no control of the subject.
No.
Completely cooperative. Completely cooperative.
Fumbling with her handcuffs and shit.
Can't get her handcuffs on, but then gets put on the news and talks to you guys about being prepared and training kicking in and whatever police mode is. I guess that's like X Games mode when you pump up your shoes or you put your Crocs in the right. You flip, you flip your Crocs into, So. Oh, I'm banned from DMing on Copville.
Yeah, too. I saw that. You're banned till tomorrow, right?
At midnight, 2 a.m. So here's the interesting part, which you can't really argue freedom of speech because you sign up for their platform and they're allowed to do whatever they want. But because I'm checkmarked, that's why I did it. Not because I want to be cool. I get meta support. I got the call and I asked him, what did I say in my own DMs? I said, what did I say that was so bad? And he couldn't tell me. So I said, the only thing I remember, which I posted, was I called some chick fat and sloppy. And I said, is it fat and sloppy? He said, no, that wouldn't do it. And I said, so how do I prevent myself from further in my DMs now? I'm not on public.
Yeah.
I said, if people attack me and I defend myself, I don't cuss. I don't swear in text. I don't. And I'm like, so how do I? He told me that me and the other person that we argued are both banned for 24 hours, which leads me to believe, and he insinuated, they monitor your messages. It's not private. It's not between you.
Oh, no, hell no.
So whatever was said, whatever argument happened between me, and I still don't know what it was, is they monitor.
You don't even know who it was with?
Nope.
Shit.
I have 2 suspected people. One was a guy that talks shit about me in comments on another page that clips these episodes and reposts me. And I simply just said, hey, dude, I see you talking shit. You know, you claim to be this great guy. And I did happen to have a DM of him telling me he would bang some nasty TikTok cop, which I'm sure his wife wouldn't want to see on a story, but I didn't post it. And then I had some defender of some TikTok cop come in and threaten me. And I was like, tell me I was a fake name. And I said, dude, my real name's in my profile. Like, go look at it. So I can't pinpoint which one.
Yeah.
But they monitored the messages. AI detected something that we both said to each other and banned me for 24 hours from DM.
Ban both of you. Yeah.
But he wouldn't tell me who.
I can't even argue anymore.
Yeah, I'm like, who? Yeah, I'm like, who is it? Like an owl. Who? Straight police mode for our FOC warrant. I remember sending you a video on your DM. I double tapped everything today, guys. I'm sorry. I usually respond to everything. I don't know if I'm going to. I don't know what I'm going to do anymore because I can't afford to lose that page again. But you can always go to Antihero. Antihero has a Patreon. Spend a couple bucks, and we are give exclusive content like feet pics and stuff. We do all that cool stuff in there. So a person is responsible for their own safety because the self-crime heroes have no duty to protect anyone in themselves. You're right. Buy a gun. Steve posting from the chair in the hotel room. Maybe AI tracks intent. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. All right. So let's go to image. Okay, we're done with image. I want you to, let's go to this one. This one's hard to watch. This is a police shooting that just came out. I only clipped a little bit up. There's some real bad tactics afterwards. But I'm going to let you watch it cold and let everybody watch it cold. And you just tell me what you think about the response from the backup officers. And we'll break it down after it's over.
What's up?
Hold on 1 second. So what you have is the top half is the view from the dash cam. The bottom right is another body cam, and the bottom left is the officer that's standing on the passenger side. It's dark, you can't see him. But the bottom left is the officer on the right side of the vehicle as you're looking straight ahead, the guy on the right, and he is talking to that backseat passenger. I'm going to rewind it because I want you to, we'll talk about it, but I want you to listen to what the guy says because criminals usually tell you what they're about to do.
What's up?
I'm about to do something just because it's who I am. I'm about to do something just because it's who I am, dog.
What? Get who out of here? What guys? What? Hold on a second. Hold on. Get him out.
So it's training. He knows something's off. He's saying, get him out.
Yeah, something don't feel right. Yeah.
Get ready for the show. And I want you to watch. You got the officer there on the left that's going to get him out. And there's actually 2 officers, I believe, on the right-hand side of the car as we're looking forward. One is talking and one is just standing there. And watch what happens.
Hold on. Hey,
They retreat. And the dude's shot is laying next to the car. That's his body cam in the bottom left.
Shots fired. Shots fired. I'm hit.
And you can see him. I'm stopping. He's still, that's to the right of the vehicle. He's laying there in the dirt, in the grass, engaged in a gunfight. The other 2 people are somewhere else.
Send units. I'm hit.
That one, I didn't watch all. I didn't watch all of it. My wife continued to watch, and there's some real bad tactics. Eventually, a patrol car pulls up right next to the car. But what I wanted to point out there, because I'm not in the business of breaking down a Monday morning quarterback, and I just wanted my version, and you can give your version. I see two people completely sprint from a gunfight and leave their buddy high and dry.
Yeah. Yep.
And like I said at the beginning,
What's up?
I'll play it one more time. I want you to listen. For you guys out there that are cops or not cops, when I say people tell you what they're going to do, listen to what this guy says before he shoots the officer one more time.
What's up?
I'm about to do something just because it's who I am. Y'all need to get that out of here.
What? Get who out of here? What guys? What? Hold on a sec. Hold on. Get him out. Hold on. Hey.
There goes this guy's getting shot. There goes his flashlight to the right. There is 2 officers, and as you can see, they're disengaging. Like I said, I'm not gonna hear Sid bash cops. It stood out to me was, one, for you young guys watching, criminals a lot of times will tell you, you watch a lot of these terrible police videos where cops get killed. You hear it like, hey man, you don't want to do this. There's a guy in Daytona that got executed in a parking lot. And the first thing the guy said to him was like, hey man, you don't want to do this. And those are key words to think and hear. And when you hear somebody says them to you, bad things are about to happen.
Yeah, you can't, like, you look at it and, like, just because you can tell the difference between somebody who's bluffing and then somebody who, when they say it, they have all the conviction in the world. You're kind of like, oh shit. Yeah. Just look at it. Like I said, the last shooting I was in, like, I remember looking in his eyes through a car window and I was like, fuck. And I was like, I knew, God damn it. I was like, this is not going to be good.
And why do I harp on this? Because you train. You are ready for that. You are prepared. You look at that guy and go, this guy's going to kill me. He's going to try to kill. Now you go back to the Chicago video I showed. You got guys, hands, guns, everybody's flying around. And then you go on to where I get on TikTok, all these agencies making these stupid videos and all this stuff. They're not training their officers to be ready for that gunfight. And I'm not knocking people for getting cover and not getting killed. There's no reason for everybody to get killed. I'm not saying, but the length in time. Now there are multiple occupants. There's all kind of shit storm in that call we just watched. It just seemed that if my buddy was down,
I'm going.
I got to get a shield. If we have one, I'm gonna maybe ram the fucking car into the back of that car.
I'll hold on, dude. I'll be right back.
Yeah,
I'll be right back, man.
That one really sucked when I saw Sal sent it to me from Jersey, Sal Aldradi, and
where's that from?
Dude, I don't even know. It's on one of those police sites. I didn't even look. Like I intentionally. I'm not here for police training. I'm not here for tactics. We're here to shoot the shit. It's a show, and I know. I just try not to get too involved in that aspect. So I just looked at it, said, "Hey, this is what it is." And where's the backup? It gets there eventually, and then it gets worse. From what my wife said. Sad. Cue the Dave Chappelle spot. Did he make it? I believe he lived. I don't think he died. I don't know where it happened. I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm an amateur. Tyler's the brains behind all that when we do them on the other shows. Were the shots that landed coming from the downed officer? Yeah, he was returning fire. The downed officer was returning fire. I believe maybe the backups were as well. They did. It looks like they got to the pillars and that stuff they're trained on. But man, I can't imagine my buddy laying there.
And that's the difference. It's just I'm going, dude. I'm going.
Yeah.
No
Once you
way.
get your brain, like I can see running initially, it's a natural reaction to run. Gunshots are going off. You're like, what is going on? I'm not expecting
you're getting off the X, man. Off the X.
But then once you're off the X and I'm at the back of the car and I'm seeing my buddy's flashlight in the weeds and I hear him on the radio saying, I'm shot, I'm hit.
Yeah.
Like you know what? I don't know. It is what it is. There's multiple people in that car, but
yeah, I mean, and you can't. And that's the problem. You can't just mag. You can't just you can't blow.
But you know where he is.
Everybody's head out.
You know where he is. You can start flanking. You can bring a vehicle up. There's multiple things, but I'm not.
Yeah, so I know exactly. Like I said, if you have them, I mean, I just know. Like I said, I have a shield. First thing I'm doing, I'm getting a shield. I'm going and grabbing snap, and we're coming back, and then we'll deal with killing this asshole. But first things first, you ain't leaving him in the weeds. Ain't working.
Yeah. Now here's I'm gonna play this one. This is way different. This is a trend going around. I'm gonna play the video and then I'm gonna talk about why I think it's a problem. But this is in Florida and it's catching on down here. So I'll play this.
Delray Beach Police Chief Daryl Hunter with a small change to increase the visibility of our patrol vehicles citywide.
The Delray Beach Police Department is proud to announce a new initiative to increase public safety and visibility of your patrol officers. Starting November 1st, patrol vehicles will begin using cruise mode lights in the city of Delray.
What do you think of that?
It's stupid. We call them bully lights. We call them bully lights down here. They actually came up with a law that you can't do that shit here. You can't just drive the fuck around. If you're not in your jurisdiction, you can't drive around with your cruise lights.
So it is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
So stupid.
It's not going to help. But here, my wife brought this up. I give her credit because she'll beat me if she watches this. Every detention, every citizen contact is no longer a citizen contact because your lights are on. You are now detaining because a reasonable person is going to say the cop pulled up with his lights on. And what does that mean? If the lights are on, a reasonable person believes they are detained. So there are no more of the days of, hey dog, what's in your pockets, man? How you doing? You got anything on you? What's your name, man? You just I made a career of that. I know you did. I made a career out of just making up reasons to walk up to people that looked like they were up to no good. I used to do it in gas stations when the guys would, I called it the felony turn. They would whip into the gas station and just jump out, and I would have no PC. So I would pull 2 spots down. Hey dog, you got a license? Why are you asking? I'm just asking, man. You got a license? I don't think you have one. No, I ain't got no license.
The felony panic.
Then it's like, once they tell you don't have a license, now you have a detention. But if you have any lights on or you block them, and this requires some research, this is what I did. I'm not telling you I was a great cop or anything like that. I'm just telling you I researched detentions because I like to stop a lot of people. I made all these mistakes. You pull in behind them, they're detained. No lights on, it doesn't matter. If you block them in, they're not free to leave. If you turn your lights on, they're detained. We're finding out now at night, even shining your spotlight, which is just a white light, illuminates them. Now they're saying those people feel detained. So now your citizen contact, unless it's was or about to be committed, reasonable suspicion, you're now detaining them prior to having any probable cause or reasonable suspicion. So this, in my opinion, the cruise lights create immediate
for sure
detention.
They create panic and confusion, and people are saying, it's stupid.
Yeah, do I get out of your way? Do I stop? Do I pull over? What do I do? Like, why are your lights on?
And we have it all the time. So I've been in an instructor school for the past 2 weeks. I've been driving up and down 75, and there's just a line of officers. It's early in the morning and they're rushing, so they have their cruise lights on. I said bully lights. They're just bullying people out of the road. Like, you're on the interstate doing 80 miles an hour. There's no reason for you to have your lights on. There's no crime, but you're trying to make people move out of your way. It's like I said.
And that's a Steve complaint. That's a valid complaint from a guy like Steve.
I hate that shit. Yeah.
That's an officer using their position and their ability to circumvent traffic, which is wrong.
Yeah.
This guy here, the Glock is discontinuing Gen 4. Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, so they can't put the switches on them anymore.
They can't put the switch in it.
Yeah.
So in Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, they can pull you over at night unless they have the cruise lights on in Florida. So in Hillsborough County, well, they can't pull you over at night unless they have. I don't know if they're leaving them on at night. If they're leaving them on at night, to me, that's a disaster. And I guess they are in big cities. And it's
that started in DC 20 years ago because they just drive around 24 hours a day with the cruise lights on. That's what they do.
Mike is a sick guy. So I just, the dumbness of it all around, because you wear a uniform. Now you have police on the side of the car. Now you're letting them know you're coming from a mile away. How do you sneak up on drug dealers? How do you sneak up on crime? How do you, what is the point?
Increasing visibility. No one's going to look around. Like, the odds of a criminal looking around, be like, oh shit, there's cruise lights. Or they're going to be like, well, good thing that cop is way over there. So he's not definitely not going to see me. It's so
if you're a law-abiding citizen,
so stupid,
and you see a car with lights and words with no light, you're like, even me, I'm terrified. I see a FHP or a car, I'm like, oh God, what'd I do? He's going to stop me. So you're not deterring good law-abiding citizens. And then if you're a criminal, you're going to do whatever you're doing anyway. And all you're doing is giving the criminals a heads up that you're closer. They can see you from further away. It's more recognition. And what, like, I have a GED. I dropped out of high school. I'm stupid. Who with these goddamn degrees and all these fancy schools they went to is thinking this stuff up? Like, hey, I got a great idea. We'll just turn the lights on and everybody will stop committing crime.
Yeah.
I see this on I-75. I feel it does cause more traffic.
Yeah,
Just like
it does. It causes traffic, man. People don't know what to do. Like I said, it causes confusion. They don't know what to do. I don't get out of the way. If I'm in my POV and a cop comes up behind me with the cruise lights on, I don't move because pull me over, dickhead. I don't like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jordan is right. People are going to think they need to move out of the way. Yeah, it doesn't. It creates a problem.
Yep.
Cruise lights on is giving up the element of surprise. I agree. Soft serve policing. It's happening everywhere. And now you see, everybody, Florida. We're full. No more. New York, find another place. But everybody's Florida. But now you see that it's coming to Florida. You have Greg Toney in Broward County is a moron running a terrible agency down there, one of the original hardcore sheriff's office. It's spreading around to all these municipalities in Florida where now we're turning into the same problem. We are hired to do a very simple job. Keep you safe and put bad people in jail and keep innocent people safe. They have diluted this profession to the point now where everybody's got an idea. Let's turn the lights on. Let's turn the lights off. Let's do this. Let's do that. I don't know, man.
There's all it's all these like 3 a.m. fucking 1999 things you'll see that don't actually work for shit, but it's big and it's loud and you're going to try it. No, they sell it real good and it's going to do this. But wait, there's more. And instead of just going to the basics of just be good at your job.
Yeah.
If you're good at your job, if you spend the time putting thought and effort into making your people the best they can at what they do, you don't have to have all this fancy bluster and bullshit of stuff that you don't have to have your lights on to deter crime because you have a team of hunters who go out and just eliminate the crime. You don't have to have your lights on to deter crime because you've locked up every fucking body. That's why.
And to me, it's like a social experiment. The one somebody asked me about the other day was, why did we remember you get screamed at for not touching the trunk on a stop when you were a new guy?
Yeah.
Why
you're gonna put your DNA on it? Yeah.
But nobody can explain where that started or why it started, and now it's gone. And everybody's like, why did we touch the trunk? Yeah. Well, because you told me to. Yeah. There's no explanation for it. Yeah. Your fingerprints are not lasting on a car. No. Your DNA surely back. And even when I learned, we weren't collecting DNA in 2000 when I started. So it became one of those things. It's like, we just do that. And it's like, well, why? Well, I don't know, but everybody does it. We all teach it. Like, but why?
Yeah.
Drug gang units are for what the boys are talking about, I think. What is their comment? We got short. We missed part there. You have to finish. Serve and protect is an advertising slogan. Yeah. You're not wrong. Yeah, in Michigan, they drive around with their lights on. And the other night, I didn't know what to do. I pulled over and didn't know what was going on. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Police presence, more cops, less lights. Exactly. Hey, guys, what do you think of the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office? Is it a good organization? Pinellas County. I don't know. I have dirt on so many counties. I'm trying to think. Let me Google them. This is what I always do. I Google them and I look at their social media. As soon as I look, I'm going to be able to tell you. Because I think they got some nonsense going on. I know Hillsborough is dealing with six officers fired or resigned for cheating on the
the FBI in there.
Mm-hmm. You know who told? Baby mama. Baby mama.
Hell hath no fury.
Oh, Pinellas just had it. That's right. Bob Guglielteria. I don't know if I say that right. They had an incident. We covered this on one of last week's shows where this dude, mental ill patient, it was a corrections guy, and the guy wouldn't put his hands back in the food hole of the cell, and he sprayed him with Lysol in his eyes and then hit him with a can, then made him open the door, then beat the shit out of him, and then lied about it all. And then there was more. So Pinellas County, I don't have too much dirt. I know Marion County has some issues that are coming out here soon. They had a little ruckus that was covered up by another agency, and unfortunately people like me exist, and those things are starting to come out. Brevard's got a little ruckus going on. There might be a ruckus locally here soon.
If you had to do it again tomorrow, where would you go?
Where would I work?
You can have your choice. You can walk in anywhere you want to go.
I don't know, man. I don't think I would do this job again. I would go work where you work. And I say I'm not saying that.
Okay. I
I'm
was
not
saying Florida, but
no.
okay, yeah,
If I had to do it, if I had to do it in Florida,
pick an SO. Or
if I had to pick it, Jacksonville,
Jacksonville.
JSO. Wild, crazy crime, big units. Sheriff supports them. I would go JSO, and then, man, it gets tough after that. Martin. I like Martin County Sheriff's Office. I know a female that just recently got screwed there with some workers' comp stuff, but overall, they're not terrible.
Yeah.
And they're all decent. I'm not because guys watch. I'm not knocking your agencies, and when I say that, I'm looking at administration because there are lots and lots of good cops. But if I was going based on what I've seen and hear from administration guys, Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, I don't really hear anybody bitching. And Martin County, a few people here and there, but not really work. Okeechobee, low pay, but pretty decent guys out in Okeechobee. I worked with a lot of those guys back in the day. But that's where I would go. Right now, I'd go to ICE. I'd take that $50,000 bonus and go.
We just had a guy leave and go there.
Let's see. Polk County, no. Me and Jordan talked about this before the show started. I know Grady Judd looks cool. I look at like your chief. Your chief does a job, but you don't see him on social media. He's not a glory hound. You guys have very good support from your administration. He posts a picture here and there, but he doesn't overdo it. Greg Toney in Broward County has his name on every fucking thing. Every door, a cat's in the background. First time I've seen it. Every door, Wayne Ivey, who everybody thinks is cool in Brevard, has his name, even on a memo that's 10 pages. Every page has his name. Sheriff Wayne Ivey. Sheriff Wayne. All right, dude. You got an F-150 jacked up too? I get it. But I look at like Polk County. He's loud. I know it sounds cool to shoot him dead, graveyard dead. It sounds cool. But they're backwards out there. They're backwoods. There's a lot of things. They're hiring guys that are not meeting the standard. There's a lot of guys that complain about their administration. And as we were talking before, there's a story getting ready to break out of there where a young female victim of sexual assault reported it of her father molesting her, and they blew it off, made her write a apology letter back when the case was investigated years ago, and now it's come out that it's actually factual and it happened, and they're in trouble. So, what agency would you work for, Jordan? That's a tough question when you're still employed.
No, I wouldn't leave. I wouldn't go. This is my forever agency, especially with how the just how law enforcement is going. I'm happy, man. I'm fucking happy.
That's good to hear. And it's like you're not here for money. You're not on the show for any reason. You're here because you like it, and you're talking about an agency because you care. And like I said, when you're sending me videos, you guys wrestling, when you guys are doing jiu-jitsu at lunch and guys are partaking in an agency atmosphere, instead of going, you don't have to do it. It's like, hey guys, you should do it, or we're really strongly recommending you do it. Like, that is a good atmosphere. That's a good building.
We have a really good. So we're still a first generation police department. So like they're still original OG guys there, but a lot of the guys that came through, even the OG guys, they're the kind of cops you want to grow up and learn from. Right? Like a lot of them were Fulton County guys originally, so a lot of them were patrolled the hood. And like, so Sandy Springs, when I first started, Sandy Springs had a lot of crime and a lot of fucked up shit going on. So they had but they had a lot of guys that like these are the cops you wanted to learn from, and kind of carried over. And like I said, the culture department invites people in with the same kind of mentality. Like I have the best shift mates. We have just a good time together. We all get along really, really well.
Isn't that great?
We all want to work. We all go together, like just to hang out. Like we'll go to a call. Like you don't get one of us, you get all of us. Just because we're going to go. It's a very refreshing.
And I will say, I mean, I talk a lot of smack, but my agency, here's where it's proof that the leaders don't matter. And it's it does in some areas, but it doesn't matter all the way. My agency years ago had some wild people in charge, but I had the same thing. Like 2000, I came out of dope in 2012. And then from like 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, till I went back to the DB, I had that same thing. We had a squad of guys. One guy was like, hey, I know you're going to be out of your zone down in the hood, helping two new guys. We'll cover this. And we all worked together to make that, like 6 or 7 of us, to make that area work. And it didn't matter who the sergeants were. They left us alone. It didn't matter who the sheriff was. Didn't matter what was going on in the world. And when you're locked into that kind of shift, I don't know that many cops have ever experienced what you're experiencing and I'm talking about, which is it's not a whole agency. It's not everybody. There's always going to be bad apples. But when you get locked in with that squad, and for like 2 or 3 years, I had it, man. We were a wrecking crew. And there was 3 of us that worked together. And we just did it. And then there was a K9, my Lieutenant Matheson. Now he was K9, so he was down there as the specialty guy. We just destroyed it. We had a good time, and it didn't really matter who was in charge or who was around. We just did it, and it's all
of our young cats who come in. Like we have a really big portion of our agency is very, very young, but they got it. You know what I mean? Like, and they're hungry. They're ultra fucking aggressive, but they're not recklessly aggressive. Like they want to know, they want to be the best at their job, and they're willing to learn. They always have questions, and they always are sending me stuff or asking me like, how did I do this? Or what do we do that? They're watching, videos, and they'll send me stuff. They're like, hey, go over this, bust my balls. What did I do right? What did I do wrong?
Mm-hmm.
And then we have a great our patrol, like road supervision. They're all ultra go-getters. They're all the whole department. There's the outliers, right?
Yeah.
But the percentage is very, very small. The whole department is like hive mind. They all work the same way. They all understand what they're trying to do. They understand what the city wants from their performance, and they're very proud of the fact that they're doing such a good job, which is it's a really good place to be.
I want to pay the bills. Don't forget this show is sponsored by Ghost Beds. Go to ghostbed.com/culture for 10% off. You guys check it out. That's a very pro first responder, pro military company. They do mattresses, sheets, pillows. It's amazing stuff. They're huge supporters of law enforcement in this realm. They're huge supporters of counterculture, anti-hero in Copville. Ghostbed.com/culture. You get a discount. Like I said, cooling sheets, all that bedding stuff. Something you don't think about. It's weird that they maybe sponsor us, but they do. They're great people, and that's the stuff that makes a difference when you're working midnight shift. You're comfortable and all that stuff. So check out ghostbeds.com/culture for 10% off there. And where was I going with that? I was going at something right in my head. You were talking about it.
Going out.
Then I went to the bills. I got more videos. Hold on.
One thing was cool. So I'm doing defensive tactics and control instructor, and the curriculum for George's DT program is it's. I was curious to see what it was going to be like going down there. It's all jiu-jitsu, man. It's all jiu-jitsu. Big heavy pressure, Kimura locks, breaking joints. Like so, when you go through DT, like. They teach every DT instructor all VNR. So you get the whole VNR program because it's certified through Georgia. So it's part of the Georgia Post thing now for
makes sense.
They teach every single person.
Yeah.
And
everybody,
and again, the beginning of it when you go through is watching they'll explain to you in the beginning, especially you go through case law and shit like that, how to explain to your agents that they're violating state law by not letting you use VNR. It's a good class, man. It's good.
You should. Everybody should be using VNR, vascular neck restraint. Everybody says it's a chokehold. It has nothing to do with choking anybody. It's non-violent. It immediately works. It's that easy when applied right. It's very, very good at de-escalating, keeps injuries down, less taser uses. You don't have to hit anybody with the fucking stick. That doesn't work. No,
it don't work for shit. Yeah.
Makes sense. What percentage of crimes do subaltern heroes actually I remember what I was going to say. Very little. 13%, I think our DB rate was. Here's the other guy that was commenting. My finger fucked my last comment. Was able to comment again. Mike, you're killing it and don't know what it needs to happen. But obviously, an issue, 7 viewers, all is well. No, that number's skewed because people are watching on 3 different platforms. Like I show a much higher number, but we appreciate it. Views, yes, sponsors care about that, but I'm here to do what's right. I feel like it's less about solving crime and more about preventing it. Yes. Had to close my tab, click my description, much again, comment, wanted to say, good. What I was going to say was, but you're talking about caring about the job and doing it right. I recently started public record requesting. I do a lot of them. When the state drops a case, I started wanting to see the emails for the reasons the state's dropping a case, because one of my episodes I did was on the court system, and the prosecutor is the most powerful person on earth. They can just dump a case for no reason, doesn't make it to court. So I was looking at some of these cases, and some of the things I saw for reasons why cases were dropped. And one of them was a DUI where somebody went to jail. They blew all zeros and had no narcotics in their system. And I was like, how do we make it to the jail? I wasn't there. I'm just saying that seems like an odd scenario that somebody went to jail. Then I saw another one that said it was a DUI, sobriety tests, and then they must have passed, but they talked shit, and it was a resisting arrest. And one of the things I was demoted for was a resisting arrest case, and it said something to the effect of, after watching the video, the resisting was very minor, and the person was released from the sobriety tests. So due to the minor resisting of the arrest, they were dropping it. And again, I go back to, I was charged with code of ethics violation for making a resisting arrest case that they didn't like. And I'm like, that's just strange. And then I saw another one, which was a battery investigation where somebody went to jail for battery, and there was video, and the state said, after watching the video, the person was never struck. And I'm like, how did we get to jail?
Yeah.
The person was never, like, I started going through these, and I'm like, damn, the most interesting one, the hypocrisy, was a lieutenant made an arrest for DWLS and no registration. And the case was dropped because the lieutenant did not send any reports requested to the state attorney's office, and they had nothing. And I was like, man, can you imagine if Joe Q, zone guy, didn't send his reports over to the state and they dropped his case? That same lieutenant would be counseling him about procedure and lead. You're supposed to lead from the front there, Lieutenant Jaworski. Oh, did I say his name? Sorry about that. Yeah. So I found it interesting that a lieutenant, watch commander, who is the spokesman for the sheriff's office as well, he drops all the heat and had a lot to say to me when I was negatively commenting about the sheriff's office during the election time, didn't send his paperwork over. And that, I'm being a little petty, and it is, but it just goes to show the difference in law enforcement, where if I made an arrest, I damn sure wanted that person to be prosecuted and go to jail. And I got mad when cases were dropped. So why make the case if you're not going to follow through? No VNR in New York. Yeah, I don't think you can put handcuffs on anybody in New York anymore. Self-proclaimed heroes show up after something happens to write reports saying how they need more funding. It's a joke. I love Steve, dude. No more snacking on
20 Casey games per episode.
Well, it's a kid asked me that question. We're no longer with Tasty Games. We're going to talk about that, but nope, you will not see their product. That's all I'm going to say. They're no longer
affiliated.
No, and I again, I'm showing reserve because
restraint. There
are problems, and I'm a loyal guy, but some people aren't loyal, and you defend people and they don't defend you, and they don't stay loyal. So that's all I'm going to say about that. We'll discuss that more on Anti-Hero, but no more. Now it's just Coke Zero, which you always see me. Unfortunately, I'm still a huge fan of No Can, but poor guy went out of business. He dumped his whole savings into that company, and that's a tough market, man. Smelling salts. I mean, I can see where
that's
it's
very
just
niche. Yeah.
We'll spill the tea on the show. I'm not going to talk about it yet. I've grown up in my old age to I don't want to be whatever. Let me see. How many more videos? I'm going to play this last video. This is kind of a tearjerker, emotional video. It's 2 minutes, but it kind of talks about counterculture, why we're here, Copville, Anti-Hero, the whole gang. It features Jerry Worms and one of our good friends, Jack. So get your tissues ready. We're going to run out with this one.
Miss police work, but I miss the camaraderie. And being involved in the podcast with counterculture has put my thumb back in it, and it just kind of validates some of the stuff I did, when I was, younger, back in the day. And we got a beautiful man here that I become contact with, my friend Jack, and through Mike,
get a camera
counterculture. This man here is fighting leukemia, and he says that I'm his inspiration to fight.
And I would like to say, like, for all the memes, all the jokes, all the crude humor, this podcast and this counterculture movement if anything, it brought this young man to this man who he looks up to. He's battling cancer. He lied to his doctors to even come here. Everything I did for 23 years as a cop to end up on that table or in that meme page to make this happen, to me, is worth it.
So that's kind of what we do. I'm going to tell you something crazy. Is it that one? Yeah, in the comments section of that video, that's why I hate Instagram. Somebody said that basically Jack was, it was a poor me for cops and that everybody else gets cancer too. And I was like,
Jesus
bro,
Christ.
this isn't the one. Like, I get it. But I said, you're watching a cop podcast where a kid I'm sorry, it wasn't that video. Jack was telling his story about he got fired from his agency for having cancer. Essentially, he got let go. He got told he was let go. We put his resignation letter up. He wrote his own. But in that comment section, they basically were like, boo-hoo, cops always crying about stuff. And it was like, no. If a garbage man or Wawa employee or anybody else gets cancer, it's sad. We were just talking about in law enforcement, but I couldn't believe that, that's what somebody had to say about that. And I found it, there's always somebody that's got some negative.
Yeah, there's always going to be some fucking asshole. Yeah.
So I was like, of all the things, we're talking to a dude sitting at the table with cancer. And hold on, I got a text from. Oh, we got a BSO just broke. BSO, Broward County Sheriff's Office deputy arrested for beating his pregnant wife.
Oh, good.
Steve was right, man. Self-proclaimed heroes.
Self-proclaimed heroes, man.
His letter was great. So what Jack did is, for those who don't know, I'll kind of spill it. He was on Monday. He'll be on tomorrow morning as well on Anti-Hero tomorrow at 11. He basically wrote a letter because after 5 months of being in the hospital with leukemia, that many people came to see him from his command staff. And then they showed up about a week before his firing date was to see if he was resigning or not. And then they played the whole brotherhood and we're friends and all that. So he handed the chief his resignation letter. And it was big. And it was very powerful. And I put it up on the screen. And he told him how it was. He's like, I want this in my file so everybody knows that I did not leave on my own. I left because I was going to be terminated, and this is why. And they called him the next day and asked him if they would rewrite it. If he would rewrite it and shorten it down to one sentence that just says he resigned. And he said, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Hating on a cop or anyone that was fired for being sick. Yeah, it's, I don't know if I can say that word anymore. I'm banned. But no, I can say whatever I want, but I won't say it because you're here. But yeah, it's and that's unfortunate. And I don't know if you watch this enough. I would think you and I are there's a unique group of cops, and I think we fall into the same category where we take the job very, very, very serious. But when we're off, we don't give a shit. I don't say we don't give a shit. We just don't get caught up in it.
No.
There are guys that don't take the job very serious, that act like they take it serious because they talk about it 24 hours a day.
They're fucking LARPing. Yeah.
Yeah. But you guys like us go, all right, we're going to talk about it on a podcast. We're going to talk about some highlights. But when I turn this shit off, dude, for 23 years, I was like, you rob a store, I'm going to knock you out. Yeah, I'm going to shoot you. I got a gun. But a lot of the times guys get, I know guys that put their uniform on to go get fucking free food.
They make it their identity.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. We're doing great work. We appreciate it. Chris, why does command staff continually? You know what? I don't know. I don't. This is I'm going to leave that up there while we talk about it. We'll do about 2 more minutes. This one blows my mind. And you have a great command staff, and there are some out there. But, man, since I've gotten in this podcast game, I get hundreds of messages from guys with that same thing. Why do leaders fuck with the line level guys so much? The job is hard enough.
There's a lot of times, especially but like a lot of times you'll have the people, the command staff, once they get in a position of power, it's not as law enforcement as anywhere, right? Like if they have inadequacies or whatever, when they're never that guy on the road, they never got treated because they can never either do it right or they eke through or meek through and they held grudges or their ego, whatever. Now they're in a position of power and they hold it over the guys that they wanted to be or guys that they never could achieve that, and they it's just selfish. A lot of times it's just selfish.
It is.
But on even more so than that, like you have one guy like they're following rank and file, like you'll have they're company men, right? And it just goes down. You have one person make a decision, and they'll tell everyone, and they don't have the balls to stand up and say, "Hey, chief, sheriff, whatever, this is the worst decision to make." But they're like, "Well, I have this oak leaf on my shoulder. I just have to go along with the program." Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I'm going to show you something. Let me see if my Facebook's still logged in. If I can. Yep. Okay. There's to go along with that. And the mindset is, I get a lot of calls from people that say, do this, do that. You got to look into this. You got to look into that. And from the agency. And then I've been absolutely abandoned by a lot of people I worked with. But I'm going to show you something I posted. Oh, shit. Not that. And then I got people saying things like, be careful, man. Be careful, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm not worried about being careful. I'm a little worried sometimes. But here's something I posted. Hold on, let me go to the first picture. So right now at the sheriff's, to give you an example about command staff where I work, there's a directive right now where
You don't work there anymore.
Oh, where I worked. I'm sorry. They have a directive right now because they're broke and they can't budget, and the sheriff's an awful person. They're making guys with over 1,000 hours of vacation take 50 hours vacation a pay period. It's an 80-hour pay period, 84, 86. One of those guys is a pilot. So the pilot is home 50 hours a week. I'm sorry, a 2-week period. He spends 25 hours or so off. And if something happens, he has to be called in. Anybody. They let it get out of control. Do you have to reel it back in? Yes. It's kind of like saying crime's gotten so out of control, we're going to stop enforcing it. You have to bring the hours back down. I get it. Buyouts are crazy when guys are leaving. I left with 600-700 hours, 800 hours, whatever I had, whatever. When we talk about command staff, though, the question was, why do command staff do things? Command staff does nothing they tell you. So I'm going to show you right here on this page. This is the hours of the command staff. Tom Rowland is the undersheriff of the agency. He has 1,511 vacation hours at a pay rate of probably about $80 an hour. If he leaves, which he's very close, Captain Joe Aballo, 1,013. Captain Stoll, 600, not too bad. Captain Partee, patrol captain, 840. 582, 24. This guy only has 24 because he retired, cashed out $1 million or hundreds of hours, thousands of dollars, and then came back. Kyle King, another captain, 600. Another captain, 5, not terrible. Another captain, 721. My point there is, how do you tell guys and force guys to take off when you're not doing it yourself? That is my point of this agency and most agencies. They tell you what to do and how you're going to do it, and they don't do it themselves. And when I posted this, I got a lot of positive. It got viewed a lot. Like I have a professional account. I think I got 13,000 views, which is a lot for Facebook because Facebook is usually real people. And where's the outcry? Why but the guys won't speak up? Because why? Like Steve says, a pension and a paycheck, they're going to shut their mouth. I would be furious if you're telling me to stay home and you're not doing it yourself.
Yep.
Command staff, forget where they started either way. They're yes men their whole careers. They are. I agree.
There's also more of the people like there are guys that there's in my experience, there's less of the guys that suck when they get ranked just suck the whole time. There are guys that have forgot where they came from. Like the guy one of the guys I worked with that fucked me over. He became a piece of shit as he went up. He became yes man, company man, whatever. But when he was on the road, he was great, man. He was one of my best friends when he was there. So that's less prevalent. The guys that were shitty when they were command, they were shitty when they were cops.
Well, I don't care. I'm going back to it. I don't care. We're going back. So we're going to share screen again.
Back it up, Terry.
We're going back. So I'm going to go right down this list. So we go, boom. I don't care anymore. They hate me anyway. So let's go back to this list and let's go. Undersheriff, maybe 3-4 years on the road, straight through. Aballo, a couple years on the road. DB, we used to laugh about him. He had all the fancy shirts and slacks. He's never been back to patrol, stayed in the DB. Stoll, I'm probably going to get him in trouble for saying this, but he's a good dude. I have nothing to say. Partee, same thing. he's going to be the next undersheriff at some point. He's got family money. He's just been babied through the ranks. Savita was my old partner who railroaded me, was the one who started my IA, but they say he didn't, but he did. When he had an affair on his wife, I was cool, but no, not so much. Kent, that's too much. Kyle was the other person behind my IA, routed it around everything. Will Luther, I'm going to leave that one alone. And let's go, how do I get out of here? Back to that screen so I can go to the next page. And then there's one more page. Nutzer, these are all jail. And then Cliff Labe is he is the sheriff's do-boy.
Nut fluffer.
I can't explain it to you how much of a do-boy this guy is. Like, he was a captain at Connecticut State Police, like decorated guy, military guy. His job is to drive the sheriff around, babysit his kids at events, and talk about, and he quit on the agency, went to another agency, came back, made sergeant, and went from sergeant to captain, skipped lieutenant, and that's his job. He's a bodyguard. He drives around, and it is what it is.
Bodyguard for a guy that carries a gun. That's cool.
Well, the sheriff himself spent about a year and a half, 2 years on the road and never went back. 03, 04 road, 05, maybe 2.5 years. Yeah. Went to the DB with me June of 06 and never worked another patrol shift from June of 06. And he's the sheriff. DB, captain, I skipped captain, lieutenant, DB, skip captain, major of pens and pencils, like administrative stuff, did nothing. Right before the election, was groomed and put into patrol major that ran that side of the house for a little while, won the election. He doesn't know what it's like to grind on the streets. He has no clue. He's out of touch. And that's why his budget is a disaster. Residents are being extorted for pay and self-proclaimed heroes more than most medical professions with many years of higher education responsibilities. We're going to wrap it up. Steve, we love you. I wish I could bank my hours. That's pretty much, I see the same military. And the other caveat was to these raises that they got but didn't get, they gave back. We used to be able to bank, I'm not there anymore. They were able to bank their vacation, or holiday. So if Christmas was coming, you could bank 8 hours vacation for Christmas, 8 hours vacation for Christmas Eve, because what happens? Is my sister's texting me. I have to tell her I'm still coming. Hold on. I have to swap my car out. What happens is you get injured. You have to go out on workers' comp. They fire you when you go out on workers' comp if you don't have enough hours left and you're injured. So guys, some people save that for like family emergencies, babies being born, potential medical crisis, but a guy has 1,500 hours and he obviously doesn't donate it, and he's going to get a huge payout. So my point of that is, administration does whatever they want. That's why there's terrible police culture. That's why Steve is right about some of the problems in law enforcement. But I have to go. My sister's yelling at me. I told her I'd be there by now. So tomorrow morning, 11 a.m., Anti-Hero broadcast on the Anti-Hero YouTube. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. on the Counterculture and Anti-Hero YouTube, the night shift. And Jordan and I will be back next Wednesday with the hot topic. We appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in. If I say anything negative about you, oh well.
See the patch of my arm right here? What's that say? It says the not fucking around crew. That's what that says.